So let's take a look at the visibility and graphics overrides located in the properties window. So as I mentioned, the visibility and graphics overrides are going to be they're a nice bridge between AutoCAD and Revit. They're going to allow us to perform some of the same tasks we do when working in layers in AutoCAD. So let's take a look. So we'll come back here to our properties window. And if we're here at the top, we basically just need to scroll down in the graphics section and come to this area here where we see visibility and graphics overrides. Now I'm going to come to this little bar here that says edit. I'm going to do a simple left click on that. And when it does, it brings about our visibility and graphics overrides. Now taking a look at this, let's see how this is organized. So our visibility and graphics, this window is basically organized into tabs. I can adjust the visibility of model categories, annotation categories like tags and dimensions, analytical model categories like analytical beams and stuff for structural analysis, which we will not jump into. Imported categories, any kind of like imported families into the project from other disciplines, we can control those as well. But let's take a look at how we can work with this. So any of our categories, we have the ability to control the visibility, the projection surface, which includes lines, patterns, and transparency. So basically how we're looking at this at the surface of this element. We also have the ability to control how it's represented in a cut. In this case, this might be a section view. So we can adjust the line weight, and also the hatch patterns associated with it. We have the ability to determine if this is going to be a full tone or a half tone element, and we can even adjust the detail level by view. Now, just above this main area here, we skipped over this just a minute ago, but I'll come back to this. We have the ability to filter this list. Now, one thing we know about Revit from our discussion, it's a tool that allows all the disciplines in AEC, or the main design disciplines, to work on the same model. So you're going to see elements inside your model that apply to architecture, structure, mechanical, electrical, and piping. Luckily, we're able to filter this out. So in this particular project, or this template that we're working in, we basically can only see the architecture and the structure elements. But if you wanted to see more, we can definitely see more by simply checking. Now, let's see how we can work with some of the visibilities. So now that we know how this is broken down in the tabs, we know pretty much what we can control in here, and we know we have the ability to filter. Let's put some of this to practice. So if you look here just outside of our window, we'll use some stairs, for example. So let's say we don't want to see any of the stairs in this view for whatever reason. Well, we can use our visibility graphics overrides to control that. So what we do is first we determine what we want to be visible and what we don't. So we'll come to this visibility column, and in our case I'm going to scroll down, and this is all alphabetical, and what we're going to look for is a certain building element. In our case it's going to be stairs. So I'm going to scroll down until I see stairs. I'm going to come over to this checkbox. I'm going to left click to deselect it, and then watch what happens in this area once I click apply. I'll click apply, and voila, my stairs disappear. And I can bring those right back just as well. So I'm going to select a box again. The check brings it back. Deselecting or having no check in the box makes it invisible. So I'm going to select it, and you can see it comes right back. Now, the benefit of working with visibility and graphics overrides, it gives you the ability to control what is visible in a view. Too many elements, too many annotation elements, too many building elements can really cause clutter and confusion in a view, and this is our ability to kind of control that. And then it can also possibly help with performance as well. The larger the projects means the more families, the more systems, the more elements and building elements in your model and in your project can kind of slow things down a little bit as far as being able to orbit and navigate through your model. So hiding elements is another way to kind of deal with that performance, especially in large scale projects. So just think about this window very similar to what layers are. Again, we have the ability to hide things here, visibility, which is like freezing and thawing layers, turning layers on and off. We also have the ability to work with the projection surface, so control how things look. I can mess with their lines, their patterns, and their transparency. I even have the ability to add patterns for section views and work with line weight. So if you wanted to come to these stairs again, and let's say we wanted to override some of the lines associated with it. So we'll simply click on stairs, and what happens is override, these bars are automatically activated. Now I have the ability to left click on any one of those, and I can now make overrides to any of these line graphics. So I have the ability to control the weight. So I'm going to bring this window down just a little bit. So if I expand here, like so, you can see we have a number of options to choose from as far as our line weight. I also have the ability to work with color. So I can click on this area here, and you can see we have swatches we can work with to pick color to represent our lines. Not only that, I also have the ability to work with patterns. So I can expand this out, and this looks familiar to us. We have the ability to work with solid lines, dashed lines, so on and so forth. So a lot of control over the visibility, over the documentation and the deliverables within our project. So I'm just going to click cancel, and I'm going to hit X to get out of this. And that takes care of our visibility and